time to take a look at another beer. Here on a Friday night, hopefully you guys are ready for the weekend, and hopefully your week went through smoothly. I'm going to take a look at one tonight from Platform Brewing. This is their Tricarastout. It is an Imperial Sweet Stout, one that I happened to pick up on a visit when I went to Jungle Gyms. Have it here in a nice pint-sized can. So this is going to be one of the big boy beers. What is going on, Erie? Welcome. Good to see you, my friend. And for those of you just tuning in, this is kind of a little live beer chat I do from time to time. I try to get one in a few times a week and talk about some of the beers that I'm drinking. So feel free to get into the comments as well. This one comes in at 11% ABV. Plato on at 22.1 for those of you that are brewers. IBU 55. This one actually has 7 grains that were used. 2-row Patagonia 55, caramel, carapils, chocolate malt, flake barley, roasted barley, and black malt. Also 2 hops, Galenia and Fantasia, yeast, American ale, adjunct candy sugar. So on the back side of the can here, we have the information, and no one gives you as much information as Platform does. So you get the camera to zoom in here in a second, like it's trying. And you just kind of see the price there for this one was $4.29 for this can. There you go. There's all the ingredients they put into this one. And they do put a date on here, and this one was actually canned 12/4/19, so we're just under 3 months, and should have not any problem with this one here. Aries and Alan picked me up some beer today. We shall see how it goes. Awesome. Looking forward to seeing what your thoughts are on the beers. Alan sent me a picture of where he was at. That was a pretty good bottle shop he had. I was very impressed, and I would have loved to have been there to get see what they had in that one. And Vanessa's in the house. Hello, Vanessa. Did I pay that? Yes, Erie, I did pay the $4.29 on this can here. This was not a Rod J deal. This was a just regular price. I don't always get deals on all my stuff. I do pay. Actually, I pay more than not. So, although tomorrow I am going to one of my bottle shops because they're having a stout blowout sale, and they're actually discounting a lot of their bigger stouts so they can clear them off the shelves. We shall see what I find tomorrow, and of course I'll share that with you guys. Shout out to Blake TV, big old, he was into upper class, rich people area. It was a nice, it was like a Sam's Club of beer, it looked like. So, yeah, I was wondering what happened there. I saw you missed that, so his town, he was in the upper class town there getting all kind of stuff. So, hopefully, I'm looking forward to see what he has that he picked up. Vanessa says she's had a Firestone repair all day, no beer purchase for me. Well, hopefully the car is okay and everything. Sometimes those car repairs can take a lot longer than expected for sure. But it is the weekend, so hopefully tomorrow, Vanessa, you get some. Although I know you guys are getting a lot of snow up in your area, so be safe and careful out there. Let's get this baby into a glass and see what it has to offer. Ooh, it's already got some nice sweetness on there. Now, they said they used 3 types of caramel for this, which I didn't even know there were 3 types of caramel. I just always thought it was caramel. Alright. Got a little in the can. We'll sit that there. Still got a little bit left as well. There is the nice pour into the glass. Put about a 3.5 finger head on it, which will open up the aromas and actually bring some of that out so I can actually pick it up. Differential's all good now. Well, that's good, Vanessa. They got that all worked out. Nice dark color on the stout itself. Can't see through to the other side, so we'll just go ahead and call it kind of jet black with the mocha head. Wow. Big notes of richness and decadence out of the beer here. You get a big boost of the caramel that's being used. They didn't indicate what 3 caramels they were using. I wish they would have kind of indicated that on the can, but you're getting some deep, rich notes on the nose. You're getting that chocolate in the background. It feels like this is going to have a nice little bit of thickness to it, Vanessa. Vanessa noted caramels have different levels of taste and thickness. This is definitely your classic dessert beer. Like I said, it's listed as an imperial sweet stout. A lot of people would consider it a pastry stout. But I gotta tell you, it smells wonderful. Let's get the taste. What's going on, Alan? Eclectic in the house. What is happening, brother? Oh my. That is pretty tasty. Now, you do have, I mentioned IBU being 55, you have a little bit of bitterness in there. So you're getting kind of that coffee bitterness type feel, but not overly bittering. It's kind of like if you were just drinking black coffee. But you're getting a sweetener coming in from the caramel that was used. You're getting a chocolate feel from the malts that were being used. A lot of layering taking place here. It's got a nice, rich tone in the taste as well. The notes are hanging around nicely in the mouth. It's got a good smoothness on the body. This is definitely one you can enjoy over a little bit of time, and hopefully it doesn't become too sweet. But right now it is sitting nicely. There's some of the lacing there on the glass as well. A little bit of a scratchiness in the throat on the swallow. But it is like an adult liquefied caramel candy. Good sweetness. Not overly done as of yet. If you like coffee, like I know Erie does, you definitely get a nice coffee quality in this one. You get a nice feel of the chocolate. The chocolate's more kind of a baker's chocolate type feel. But that flavor from the caramel kind of sits there on the back of the lips, that you're constantly being reminded of the caramel in the flavor. A little bit of a creaminess to it. The more I drink, the more it's starting to get locked into the cheek area. I can just keep pulling flavor out. Very, very nice beer put together by Platform. Some people have kind of backed away from Platform a little bit because now they're under AB and Bev for part of what they do, but they still make some decent beer, so I do check them out, from time to time. It is a beer channel more than just being a craft beer channel, although I prefer a lot of the independent and craft beers. I do like to also check out what I call these crafty beers, which are still craft beer, but they're just money pockets are dealing with some of the macros. And that's okay. It happens. It opens up distribution for a lot of these guys. So I can't hate on them for wanting to get their beer in more people's hands. It's really good. What I like about it too is you're not getting a ton of the booziness coming through in the 11% ABV, which can be dangerous because it can catch up with you for a little bit. But it does have a nice big feel to it. It is definitely more of a full body type beer. Something like this into a night like this where it's a little bit cooler, kind of sitting back and relaxing. It fits in very well. I wouldn't want something like this most likely on a kind of hot summer day, but kind of here, the fall, the winter, early spring before it really heats up, you can actually enjoy this rather nicely. And I will say, if you are a caramel fan, I would definitely say give this one a try. If you're a caramel and a coffee fan, it's a must try if you see this one. But overall, a very tasty brew. Another nice stout to enjoy. And a nice way to kick up Friday night. Let's check some of the comments here. Alan said, finally got me some good beer today for the first time in a while. And I was digging the bottle shop from the pictures you sent me. That was actually pretty cool. Like I was just telling Erie, that would be a cool place for me to go in there and get lost for a while and kind of see what you had there. It was pretty much like a Sam's Club of beer, it looked like. So that was pretty awesome. Decadent sounds like I should feel the hidden with it and relax. Well, Decadent's got the decadent and it's got the richness. So if you were to take like something like a caramel chocolate cake and make it into a beer. That's what you would have with this thing here. So definitely a nice adult dessert. The collector needs to get out of the house. Him and the kids, LMAO, they're driving me insane. Well, he made a beer run today, so he was out of the house for a little bit of time. You got to give him some points there, Erie. I watched the baby ducks and chickens today at Tractor Supply. So cute. Oh, now you're going to have Erie all wanting ducks now, too, for the farm. Now she has the chickens. What's up, Ramon? Cheers, my friend. Hopefully you're having a great Friday night. Oh, fill the hot tub. Okay, gotcha. Vanessa, we got 10. We need more. I never had chickens until now, so we shall see how it goes. Rod, I got Erie a Yeti Imperial Stout to try since she likes chocolate. That and a Decadent Ales Orange Creamsicle to try. I did like the Orange Creamsicle from Decadent. And they make some decent beers. Sometimes I wonder on some of their pricing for what they charge for them, but they do make some decent ones. The Yeti Imperial Stout, that again, with Erie, she likes coffee anyway. It has a coffee bitterness to it, but it has that nice chocolate feel too. So hopefully Erie digs that one. Blake says, my mom had over 200 chickens at one time and even had a name for every one of them. I don't remember 200 names that I would name a chicken. I mean, could you really tell them apart after a point, though? And Vanessa said, nice Erie any ducks. They make nice eggs, too. Like coffee, not chocolate. I would name the chickens D1, D2, D3, D for dinner. Vanessa, that's why I want to get the ducks for, Alan said. And Vanessa makes eggnog from the duck eggs, which she says is really good, which I believe. Rod, that looks delicious, bro. Blake said, yeah, it's a nice one. It's a nice sweet one. Usually something like this will be something of a more of a dessert type beer to kind of cap off the night. Like I'll go when we go to dinner sometimes. I sit there and I order beers to kind of pair with what I'm eating, and usually like, by the time I get to dessert, I'll have something like this if they have it on tap, or something that might be in a bottle that's unique, where I can have like a dessert in a beer rather than an actual dessert. Try the Tippy Cow Orange, not a beer, but dang creamsicle heavily taste. My wife and kids are out of town for 5 days. Is it bad I'm enjoying myself? Not at all, Ramon. Not at all. Enjoy it. You get the whole house to yourself. Kick back, relax, my friend. Have some fun. Waiting on ducks, but we aren't getting any, Erie said. I can have chickens and ducks at older brother's home in Texas, but not here. Zoning says we must be on 2+ acres. We are on one. Erie says chicken's name is Chick Von D. And Alan's drinking a blonde ale brewed with vanilla, lactose, and coconut. Who makes the beer that you're drinking right now, Alan? Duck Nog is tasty. R&R ate some mushroom on. Yeah. Yeah, you got the whole place to yourself. Nothing wrong with that. I like how they put the flaked oat in here to help really enrich that creaminess of it. Really makes it smooth to go right down. Good to be the king, Ramon. Cheers, says Blake TV. Yeah, it's kind of interesting though, Alan, that you said like doesn't like coffee as you don't like coffee. You like chocolate, I think you said, because I know Erie likes coffee. Go back and look at that comment there. Because I was just thinking, like coffee, not chocolate. Okay. Yeah, but on that Yeti, you're going to get a little bit of that chocolate feel, I was going to say, from when Erie does try it. Had a blackberry and pineapple frozen margarita today. Yum, Vanessa said. That does sound good. Ramon with the thumbs up. Yeah, definitely. And Ariel's in the house, says hello. Hello, Ariel. Good to see you. Happy Friday to you. Just kind of kicking back now and chatting as I enjoyed this beer. Um, kind of hitting a little bit of the relax mode. Might see what craziness Blake has over at his channel in a bit for Blake TV. Might play a little Call of Duty later. I don't know. It's been a long week and ready to just kind of relax and lounge for a bit. And I am watching Diner Driving and Dives again, like I usually do on Friday night, so I'll probably be hungry again in about an hour. But what's anybody else drinking out there? Anybody else sipping on any type of beer or spirit or wine, or maybe it's a non-alcoholic drink right now? Anybody else enjoying some good stuff out there? I actually wouldn't mind making a margarita once in a while. I've got like a Ninja here and a blender and with some Vitamix. I've got stuff to make margaritas. I just never do. I should make some margaritas. Margaritas would be nice. Ramon's drinking a double IPA from Triple Crossing called Clever Girl. Nice. Have not heard of them. Just again, so many breweries out there you come across. Blake's a nice Vanessa says it. Cheers, Ariel. Alice at Edmonds Oast. Can't remember the name of it, but typical blonde ale finish, but has a lot of bit of vanilla flavor and a smooth mouthfeel. Nice. Yeah, the good thing with blonde ales for people that are trying to get into or looking at getting into craft beer, they're a nice transition from going from the macros over. They're not too heavy, and they make some decent ones around some different flavors that can make it a nice little jump for you. Pineapple soda, ice, and pirate rum makes a yummy frozen drink. Mental note. The usual coffee, Blake says. That's not your usual, Blake. 4-pack of High Wire of New England IPA as well as like 7-something%. I've got one of the, and I almost pulled it tonight, but I'm going to wait and do it another one. I've got the raspberry wheat wine from High Wire. I'm looking forward to drinking that one. I might do that this weekend, but they have one. I think it's 9%, I believe, ABV, and they always do some good stuff. They're becoming one of my little favorite breweries out there to check out. Ariel's drinking a hot caramel macchiato from Starbucks. Very nice. I do like the caramel macchiato from Starbucks. I've not had one in a while, but when I do go to Starbucks, that's actually the drink I get most of the time. And I think calorie-wise, it's something, the caramel moves it up, and I think calorie-wise, it's still actually one of the lower calorie things you can get from them. So, a good call, Ariel. Good call. Margarita's awesome. Lastly, also got a s'mores-based Imperial Stout from Westbrook. Yeah, I need to check into more of the Westbrook ones that we get here. I just know we have the Goza I've seen, and not sure how much more we're getting from Westbrook, but I've always heard so many good things about them. Horseradish Bloody Mary Sunday this weekend. Dip your shrimp right in the drink. Ooh, food in the drink? It all goes to the same place. If you ever make it to Richmond, hit up The Answer, Final Gravity, and Triple Crossing. Yeah, I've heard all about The Answer. That is definitely on the list. I've actually, my sister, she's in Virginia. Sometime I'm going to get down there and visit her, but that would be somewhere I would love to hit. And I'm part of a member of the International Bloggers Conference or Writers or whatever it is, like a guild or whatever. And next year, their conference is in Virginia, so I may actually look to go to Richmond for that, because it is Richmond, Virginia, where they're going to hold it. Had a strawberry margarita one time, make you want to slap your granny. And my favorite reel, I have them put 3 double espressos in it. Oh, wow. I didn't think anybody else did that before. I used to do that when we had a Starbucks in my old building I used to work in. It wasn't 3, it was 5, because if you get the venti, it automatically comes with 2. And I'd have them put additional 3 shots in it. And one of the guys I worked with tried to do it one time. And let's just say he wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. He was falling apart. He was jittery all over the place. He couldn't handle it. So yeah, but they called that the Rajay special in our building. That was the only one that had done that at the time. So it's kind of nice having your own drink at Starbucks. And people were like, "What's the Rajay special?" They tell me like, "Oh no, can't do that. No." I forgot a good Hawaii's Mosaic IPA is. It's one that is nice, and their 10W40 stout with pepper is really damn good. Yeah, that's the I want to say that's the Mexican mocha or something, or Mexican version that has the pepper, but that one is good as well. That whole series, the 10W40 that they do at High Wire, is just solid. In fact, I haven't had a bad beer from High Wire as of yet, whether it's NW or not. I've just been impressed in everything they're doing. Fingers crossed, hopefully the raspberry wheat wine kicks over being well also. And I am now a week out from our beer fest. If you caught any of the Beer Flow show last night, towards the end, we were talking about the beer fest that I will be at next week with Todd and Shannon, Eric, and then Kentucky Brew Reviews coming up for that. There'll be some other people probably in the house, and that's going to be a little crazy. 400 plus beers. Going to try to shoot some video. I actually have a camera here that I can use instead of my phone now, so see what we can get there. But anybody that's ever been to a beer fest, after a certain point, the camera kind of just doesn't get pulled out anymore. Pinky's Out Podcast. What is going on? Cheers. What is going on with you guys tonight? Great to see you here. And yeah, you had mentioned about maybe trying to hook up sometime to do like a stream or something. Definitely, we can look at something. Let me know. You know what your guys' schedule usually is. If you want to get something put together, we can do that. On my about page is my email, so you can always shoot me an email there or put a comment here, whatever you want to do. But yeah, we can coordinate. I'm always looking to hook up with other beer drinkers and see what their thoughts are on stuff and doing some collaboration videos. So as this beer sits here, and I've been drinking here for a little bit of time now, I'm liking that it's not becoming overly sweet. It is still lasting nicely. Sometimes these can become too overly sweet, too syrupy, start to fall apart, become kind of a messy type mix. And this one is holding up very nicely. So great job by Platform. I'll have to check this into my Untapped, but it is solid. Just playing with my equipment, trying to get it working. Yeah, it's always about getting the equipment set when you do the different broadcasts and all that kind of stuff. I was going to say with the, are you guys doing just the YouTube channel, or do you have the podcast channel as well that you guys are doing stuff? A lot of people say podcast, but it's mainly like YouTube stuff. Or some people will just take their YouTube stuff and put it on the podcast. But some people do the podcast while simultaneously doing YouTube. Just kind of curious if you guys are podcasting as well. I will say I didn't eat much today. I mean, I ate dinner a little bit ago, but lunch I kind of skipped. And I don't usually have the 11% start to kind of hit me a little bit, but it is kind of hit me a little bit on this one. So probably should have ate a little bit more during the course of the day. Always want to prepare yourself when you're drinking. But tonight, I think Blake at 9 o'clock will have the Friday Night Throwdown. So if you haven't jumped on Blake TV as of yet to pick him up, make sure you do, because that's always a fun time over in his channel. That's at Strawberry Daiquiris, and you have the podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, and Apple Podcast. Okay, because I'll check that out there too then. Because I know the videos, I checked out the channel, I think the videos you haven't done as much, but you may have been doing more with the podcasts and stuff, so that's what it is, just starting YouTube, okay. Yeah, so, yeah, it'd be kind of cool, and like I said, I'm always ready to hook up and talk to some of the other guys about beer and kind of see what your guys' thoughts and the part of the country you guys are in and what you're seeing there on the beer scene, different things you're picking up. Strawberry vodka smoothies with ice and heavy cream blended up thick and frozen. You do like the heavy cream. I noticed that about you, Vanessa. You're a fan of the heavy cream. Strawberry vodka smoothies, that sound good. You might even get Blake to try those because he loves his vodka. There's Todd. Yo, yo, yo. What is up, Todd? What is going on? And Dave says, well, it's always a strange time at Blake's anyway. That is true. It is always strange. You know, Blake, he has some weird friends, right? So. Oh, just chilling, Todd. I'm actually, I don't know if you've seen this down there where you're at yet, but this is one of the ones from Platform. It is the Tricarastout Imperial Sweet Stout. 3 types of caramel in this chocolate caramel stout. It is pretty damn tasty. Pretty solid. Oh, then Vanessa says hello to Nave. Blake says, I see you, Nave. Cheers, bro. Says, hey, Blake. And cheers to the Nave. Cheers, Todd. From Blake and Alan as well. And depending on how long Blake may go tonight, definitely going to be wanting to play a little Call of Duty later. And Nave says, how y'all doing? I myself am doing a lot better now that the week is over. I mentioned sometimes, you know, in my real life job, I work with the financial markets, so it's been a crazy week this week. So you saw all of the stuff that's happening in the markets. So it was a little crazy. And double Devonshire heavy cream, twice the heavy cream percentage, Vanessa said. So I think she's recommending if you get a heavy cream, that's the one to get. Todd said I've not. Yeah, so that was one I got at Jungle Gyms. I hadn't seen it until then, and I said, let's give it a try. 11% ABV. And then Todd said, cheers, Alan. Todd said, COD later. And yeah, definitely some COD later. Vanessa says, hello to Todd as well. What makes the grass go greener? What state was a huge? What state had? I think he said what state was or what state has. Okay, there you go. A huge craft beer scene. Um, I mean now across the country, you have a lot of states doing stuff. Obviously, California was always a big one. Oregon was a big one. Now you have Ohio's doing a good job. North Carolina is huge with the stuff they're doing. You also have Massachusetts. You have up in kind of the Vermont area, kind of in that New England region. There's a lot of good beers that come out of there. A lot of your top beers that get ranked by people out of that area. But Pennsylvania does a great job. Texas is doing a great job. Um, Utah has some decent beers coming out. I mean, nowadays, pick a state. There was just an article that posted about Birmingham stepping up their game down to Alabama. So there's a lot of states doing a lot of good things, and that's the cool thing about craft beer because it's grown in all these different areas, kind of organically. That people are having their own little breweries they actually like. I might play it a bit later. Todd, depends on how quickly I can get on Friday Night Throwdown with the kids still being awake. Largest drop ever, it looks like. And Todd says, hey, Vanessa, I would turn on the laptop and watch. So Vanessa watches the laptop when we do the gaming videos. Percentage-wise, the drop wasn't Black Monday. Levels of bad. No, it wasn't as far as Black Monday. This week, by the way it finished the week, it was the biggest loss since 2008 after when we got hit with the housing stuff. At one point during the week, on a day basis, it was basically seen as kind of the worst day in history, even considering all the other stuff as well. But on the whole, it kind of built through over the week. You're down 12% in the market, which whenever you hit 10%, you're in a correction state. So we're kind of just past the correction. Next week, it'll be interesting to see what the rebound is. And a lot of it, like you're hearing from the media, is around the coronavirus. The thing is, the market does not like uncertainty. So when the market has uncertainty, that's where you have issues that take place. And the contradiction that takes place on how, for instance, we're handling the virus here causes questions. Information not being provided by other countries is causing questions. All these different things that are taking place is creating that uncertainty in the market. If you look at the companies on stuff out there, the numbers are still good behind a lot of them. Plus, what a lot of people don't realize, the markets are highly leveraged by certain stocks. So things like Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, and Google dominate a lot of stuff. And when they take their tumble, they pull a lot of people with them because it's very top heavy. So as bad as it looks, there are still some plays out there, but it's kind of, once it starts to rain a little bit, it starts to rain a little harder, and people get concerned. It's like a snowball type effect. It's not as bad as what people are thinking. And in fact, if you're out there and you're younger, it's a great time to actually buy more. And that's where you get into dollar cost averaging and stuff, where you can actually, when it rebounds, pick up a lot more from the stuff you got. So now if you're retiring at this point or you've been retired, yeah, your concerns are definitely there because the time it takes to make that back up. Blake doing the stream tonight. Yeah, he does the Friday Night Throwdown at 9 o'clock Eastern time. So he'll be doing that here in 11 minutes. And I'll probably jump over there for a bit at least. And, depending on how long Blake wants to go, we'll be there doing that. But yeah, I'm still going to be up and around for Call of Duty too. So I don't know what time you were thinking, Todd. But it's Friday night. And I got nothing to do tomorrow except go make another beer run probably. So we can get it in for sure. Oh my God, the high wire, hazy and juicy and hop and fresh smells like pineapple and passion fruit on the nose. So, in other words, Alan is in heaven with the beer he's having right now. Todd said, okay, I thought so. Yes, Todd, at 2100 hours Eastern, Vanessa said. If markets keep dropping, you might be in a bit of trouble. Anything beyond minus 20 is bad news. True, Nave. And like I said, so next week will be a key to see how things are responded to out there. And keep in mind, with this whole stuff, as information is coming out, is not as stagnant where it's going to take a while for the corona news to come out. I mean, daily things are changing, so it's shifting rather quickly. Um, but they just had, if you didn't see, they had their second case tonight that just appeared in the U.S. with someone else that they're trying to figure out how that person contracted it, because that person had no contact with any foreign people or went overseas or anything along those lines. So a second case out in California of a person that picked it up without going anywhere is what they're thinking. So all of it's still just so new right now to get picked up on. Hey, what's going on? Optimistically cynical. Nice to have you in. Took my son to the park, and when we got home, we found his goldfish dead, which is a tough situation for any parent. How do you explain all the corroding asphyxiation to a 4-year-old? Just the same way that we do with Epstein. He didn't hang himself. So, and you leave it alone. Good Lord, tastes like a pineapple passion fruit citrusy punch with a grapefruit pilty finish. Man, that is well written there, my friend. You need to get back and do some more beer reviews, Alan. That all sounds good to me. Okay, got to go pick up my daughter in a few. I'll probably chime in unless it's open to join. Well, Blake usually has his thing going, so I think at some point he may open it, but obviously if Blake does, that's Blake does. But yeah, we'll definitely be over there for a bit. Let me see here. We will all be exposed by Christmas, Vanessa says. Yeah, that could be something that definitely does happen at some point, or, if it gets around enough. But the thing is, it's kind of like people may get exposed, but they may be able to get treated for it. The concern is what's actually causing some people to maybe die from it, I guess. So the tests have to be ran to actually see what may be causing that effect. Because not everybody dies from it, but I think it's based on the immune system that people have. But people are already starting to order like masks like crazy. They're also saying that like places like the dollar store and Dollar General, some of the other stores, even like I think might have been Walmart mentioned out there that they're afraid there's going to be a run on a lot of stuff out there too. So if you are kind of concerned about it, it's probably the time that you would go ahead and do that. I already know some people that have started stocking up on water. I saw those people stocked up like on tuna, other canned goods, just in case things are crazy. I don't think it would ever get, that bad where it's like Walking Dead type things where people are trying to do. But, something like water would be something of importance. So it might be something to kind of throw in the basement to have there in case something does happen. Alan says, no more beer reviews for me. Well, I say that. May do a throwback video or something of the sort. Yeah, you can always do a throwback and do a video there touching on some of the beer stuff. And you were good on the beer stuff. You were entertaining. It's all about what you're feeling about it and just sharing it with people. So it's always good to kind of have that fun. I'm going to actually this weekend shoot some more videos that I'm just going to put up instead of always doing the lives and stuff, just because sometimes I got other things I need to get done. I try to get the lives in, but it's hard for me to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and get that stuff thrown up. Why those masks? The pores are not small enough to stop the virus. Well, the masks they have that they're picking out, some of the doctors, there was one doctor on there today talking about that they can actually help to contain the virus if it's just you, but also if it's something where you're around other people, they're saying it doesn't work as much as people think it does too. So that's kind of interesting. There's a company in the U.S. and a lab in Israel that are entering human trials of vaccines. The Israeli lab has already been testing on vaccine effectiveness of coronas. Yeah, I mean, we're testing on stuff here as well. So it's just taking a matter of time for us to actually get this stuff pulled and everything. And thank you, moderators. And it's just a matter of us actually getting the results back. Now, there was another report that came out today saying that we're kind of faulty in some of our assessments that are taking place with it too. So there's a lot of things popping up, and it's just that, and that causes more concerns about everything, whether or not we got all the right details from like China, or whether or not we're being truthful in our thing. The fact that one of the lead scientists has been kind of hushed by the White House and not allowed to speak about it or whatever is kind of concerning. So, there's a lot of stuff happening that Definitely makes you wonder. I know me and Eclectic have had conversations about it offline and other stuff, but yeah, there's some. If you're paying attention to a lot of it, there's some things that people should be definitely watching and be a little worried about there. So two places with a head start. Yeah, yeah. So here, like just like the China thing, it was actually a spot here where you have two people, and I think the other person might have been in California as well, that had no contact with anyone else, and they got the disease, or they don't think they did. Now they're quarantining their family, at least in the case of the one person. The other person, I think they're trying to find out who that person was in contact with, and that's now going to where the person had worked because they're contacting that person's office. Any employees that came in contact with that person, now they're researching them. So at a point, you may have this office for whatever company is, and they got to shut down because everybody's quarantined for 2 weeks. That's the scary thing. So it's kind of like you walk into your office today and someone gets diagnosed with it, even if you didn't see that person, because you had common space, you may end up getting quarantined, and your company may end up, having to deal with that situation. So, like our company right now, I went to the office on Thursday and talked to a few people, and we're already going under our plan to how we're going to react if we're impacted by it. And there's a lot of companies that are actually doing that right now. Schools are doing it right now. So it's interesting. Italy already started like pulling one of their schools or a few of their schools in one of the areas. Today they had a soccer match in Italy. They had the team play, but there were no fans in the arena because of the coronavirus. They don't want any size groupings where there's more than 1,000 people. You just had Google, I think it was, and Amazon that pulled out of an upcoming conference because they didn't want their people traveling and being possibly in position. So it's shaping a lot of that with the economy. And again, the uncertainty is causing these companies to react, which is causing the market to react. What about Cal and Mass finally telling us how many are on home quarantine? And I don't even have they told. I don't think they've told us about how many are actually out. I know the last thing I saw was like maybe like 80 something people out there. I saw one report in Long Island. There was 50 something people that were being um, reviewed. But I don't know if they had the coronavirus or not. But they were under watch out there. Had like 23 people, but state was telling us the number. Those two just finally told. Yeah, so that's where it gets to where some of the information isn't being fed properly. There was also another report that came out. I'm in my background. If you don't know, was in journalism, so I read a lot of different things. I like reading news and seeing stuff, or trying to decipher what is the news, so to speak, nowadays in today's society. But there were other situations that we were talking about, and one of them was the CDC. I guess because of the way that the administration made cutbacks, they're actually short on people, so they've actually have less people there now in key positions that could affect them doing the research as well. I think they had lost like 700 positions or something because of the funding that was cut. So there's a lot of stuff out there that's causing the anxiety taking place. What's going on, Danny? DIP, what is up, yo? DIP Outdoors in the house. Matt said 600 plus and Cali said thousands on home quarantine 2 days ago. Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. And I think statewide, the last time I saw it might have been like 7 or 8 states that were infected possibly with cases. So every few years, the media, UN, and government try to sell us another global pandemic. West Nile, SARS, measles, bird flu, etc. Yeah, but you know what? The funny thing is, like, every few years we find out like some government's been creating them in the lab too. If you're doing research on things, so it's almost like we're almost setting stuff up. But meanwhile, away from this, and I didn't catch when we were talking yesterday, but back was Billy had mentioned during our stream, and I saw more of it today. So Russia and Syria had a conflict yesterday where they opened fire. They killed like 33 Syrian soldiers, which is interesting because not much is being said about that on the news. Today there was something where I think one of the Chinese ships were fired upon with a laser or something from another country. It might have been Russia that did that one as well. That they're investigating that too. So all this stuff happening, other people might be taking advantage of it, trying to make the plays they want to make. So it's interesting. They said in spreading panics, they influence the markets and exert control over the populace. Well, sure, yeah. I mean, if they cause a mass hysteria, that's going to influence because people are going to get nervous and they're going to be concerned, especially, about assets and stuff like that, that they're going to react to it. It's going to create a big sell-off in the market. Companies or institutions come back in and buy at a discount to increase their holdings on stuff. There's there's some thing in that conspiracy type theory that can play true. So you just never know. We don't really get into conspiracies that much on the channel here, but there's enough stuff that's happened in the past. And again, if you're doing the research and you're studying things, you have to wonder, are there other things at play with a lot of stuff happening? So interesting as can be. 33 Turkish. Yeah, Turkey just asked NATO for help under the articles. Yeah, it was 33 Turkish soldiers that got killed. So, oh, it's crazy. It is crazy right now. I don't know. We'll keep seeing what happens and just be safe out there. I guess the only thing you really can do. Keep your head on a swivel. Pay attention. Don't get so caught up in talking points that you don't see the whole story or what you can from the whole story. I think they bank on people just taking the clickbait and running with it. Go down the rabbit hole and find out information for yourself. Verify it for yourself before you actually follow it and believe it. That's my last part in words. I'm going to go ahead and shut up and jump over to Blake TV for a bit. Thanks for everybody that tuned in. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. It's always good kicking it with you guys. Again, if you happen to see this one out there and you are a fan of the sweet stouts and you like caramel, you like chocolate, this is a nice one to pick up with a nice tasty feel to it. It's from Platform Beer Company. It is their Tricarastout Imperial Sweet Stout. Definitely one to give a try to. And with that being said, I look forward to catching you next time. Keep drinking those good craft beers. Remember, there's always time. You guys go out there and get your beer on. Cheers, everybody.